You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. What the Tig will offer. As I've explained, Harry's wife, as part of the pursuit of the prime aims, may well be resurrecting the Tig sooner rather than later. But what should it offer? Well, first of all, I think it actually should be renamed, and it should be called the Tick, because, after all, what is it that ticks do? Ticks are parasitic arachnids that are part of the mite superorder, Parasitoformes. Adult ticks are approximately 3 to 5 millimeters in length, depending on age, sex, species, and fullness. Ticks are external parasites, living by feeding on the blood of mammals, birds, and sometimes reptiles and amphibians. Would seem that the tick would be entirely appropriate for Harry's wife, wouldn't it? As that describes her down to a T, a parasitic individual that feeds on others, has no talent of her own, and therefore she sponges off other people, plays the victim, and, of course, engages in repeated behaviours which show that she sucks the life force out of other people. Thus, having helped Harry's wife by giving the Flog the Blog a new title, which is entirely appropriate, what can we expect to find there? Well, naturally, your glorious narrator has turned his sizable brain to the topic. And remember, as explained elsewhere, she has decided that it's going to be a site that covers so many things. So, for instance, we can imagine that we're going to find Harry's wife playing agony aunt, as she's going to provide you with relationship advice. I should imagine it will basically run along the lines of telling you to find a vulnerable half-wit who has status and some money, that you then take off your clothes and do the nasty with that individual. You then find a vulnerability applicable to that individual and utilise that vulnerability against them while conning them into thinking that you're being supportive. Then piss off all of their friends and family, smear your own family and their family, and then cause that individual to be under your grip until such time as you determine that they are not worth bothering with. That will probably be Harry's wife's formula for a successful and loving relationship. She'll also, of course, advise you to ensure that you go around telling everybody that this is your love story, that you're completely in love, and that people don't really truly understand or know you. Her relationship advice for dealing with troublesome family members will probably be along the lines of organise PR to leak information about them, throw back in the face any kindness and gratitude and compassion that they've ever exhibited towards you, and continue to milk it for all it's worth until such time as you are established as being the victim of their unpleasant machinations. Yes, I can see right now that her relationship advice is going to be absolutely first class. Of course, she believes herself to be a fashion icon, and we're going to be treated to a range of declarations about what you ought to be wearing, with suitable links, of course, to where you can go and spend ridiculous amounts of money, attempting to look like Fridge by Valentino, Kermit Goes to Church, Chairman Mao Does New York, The Bouncing Berry of Harlem, Teacup by Royal Dalton, Tent by Army Surplus, One of Our Jowers is Missing, Banks's Paintbrush Rag, and, of course, not forgetting Overripe Burst Tomato Lady. Yes, all of her notable fashion successes will no doubt be on a carousel for you to look at and go, ooh, yes, doesn't she look beautiful and stunning in that? Let me buy that for, goodness me, $50,000, a snip. I'll buy two. Then, of course, she'll move on to cookery, and will be treated to a level of pretension that is so astronomical that you'll feel like you're going to burst. We'll be treated to the recipes for deconstructed cupcakes, heritage chicken with emulsified creme anglaise, house-ground, grass-fed, hand-shaped chuck on artisan stone, cracked wheat petit pain de lait with a side of pomme de terre fries, an edible balloon made from a viscous mix of green poms and dried cane juice, a cheese plate consisting of camembert, spices, chocolate, and frozen blended fruit, painstakingly shifted into the form of a Japanese Zen rock garden. You can imagine that there will be behaviour and videos similar to if you'd ordered Nigella Lawson from Wish, with Harry's wife utilising her breathy telephone sex worker voice in an attempt to make zucchini sound sexy, that she'll be there fondling the eggplant and looking at you in what she thinks is a particularly sexy and provocative manner. All you need do, of course, is watch the way that she attempted to sex up some burger grilling to realise that she's about as sexy as a enforced enema. And of course, while she doles out relationship advice and flogs her peculiar brand of fichon to you and takes you down a cookery route which leaves you thinking, I'd much rather just have beans on toast, thank you very much, of course there'll be plenty of merch to flog. You can imagine that you'll be treated to the frosted dildo, inspired by, of course, he of the ginger bollocks, that she will be selling the smell of me, the distilled essence of Harry's wife, which can be purchased as an essential snake oil, or a scented yellow candle, or simply as Joss sticks. What would it smell of? Well, quite clearly, it would smell of used banknotes, desperation, and bronzer. You could also purchase, for no doubt several $100s, and not quite a full deck of racism cards. If you've never dated or had a relationship with a person of colour, that doesn't matter. You can still maintain that you are part of the Black Sisterhood by playing these race cards whenever anybody criticises you or fails to invite you to something. Good for all occasions of whining. There'll of course be a section of Create Your Own Award, where you can purchase various awards from a selection of meaningless but supposedly wholesome categories designed to make you feel important, wanted, and admired. There will undoubtedly be a number of bugs, probably more ridiculous creations about her telling you how to live your life, with examples with meditation my way, such as breathing, only better. Of course, don't forget, there'll be plenty of chickens of authenticity to purchase, alongside bananas of empowerment. And of course, there will undoubtedly be the opportunity to gain a selection of victim cards. Expect also a range of ridiculous furniture ideas that would not look even at place at home with some kind of pretentious Soho wanker. Instead, you'll be treated to try and purchase furniture that is both uncomfortable, lacking form or function, but costing you several $1,000s of your hard-earned. These are just some of the things that you can expect to find at the Tick, and undoubtedly Harry's wife will be flogging all manner of tat in the name of her deluded self-importance. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.